Welcome to Fishing with Guy. Out here the world slows down and the noise fades. Trolling in the custom well till the rod starts shaking. There's a quest for salmon in the great Northwest, where the drug is the tug. Let's go fishing.
Hello, today is Monday, March 23rd, and I'm going to go to the head of the channel and try to catch a Springer. Wow, today's going to be a nice day. I cured this herring a couple days ago. I'm gonna go over what I did later in the video. Got my flasher and weight and hooks, soaking in some lemon joy. Use a chartreuse flasher today because that seems to work the best out here on the Willamette. Got a pretty good sized one. I think that's an 8-inch. Maybe it's, oh, it's a 10-inch. So hopefully that does the trick. And then for my weight, I'm going to use a 14-ounce with the dropper. I think that's about 14 inches of a dropper. I'm going to get all my gear ready before I get out there, so right when I get there I can just start fishing. Pick a good one here. Kind of like that one. I'm gonna go with this cut. I can just tell by how this herring feels that it's cured really good. It's nice and firm. Through the same hole there. trying to barely hook it so it'll do a nice spin, because I'm going to be trolling pretty slow. I'm going to try to be right down along the bottom. It's one of the reasons I cured the herring a couple days before, so it would be nice and firm, because when you're trolling really close to the bottom, you'll bump the bottom with your herring and it'll just beat it up quick. So alright, got that rigged up, sitting there. All my dual lock snaps are closed everywhere. My weight on there. Try to lay all this in there so it comes out nice. Alright, let's go fishing. Looks like we got a incoming tide. High tide's at 9:36, so that should be pretty good. Like to hold my weight with my finger, and then hold my flasher. Make sure my bait looks good. Drop in the bait, drop in the flasher, drop in the weight. Reel up, zero out. Looks like my herring's spinning really good. It's spinning really fast and I'm going pretty slow, so I like to see that. Test my drag. It's about right. to go out to 20 feet. There's 20. Oh, marking some nice salmon on the chart plotter. Looks like I got a few friends out here today. There's a big snag right here, so let's see here, back, combos, combo 4, pause, mark the snag, back, hit this, menu, mark, okay. Now I've got that marked right there in my chart plotter, so now I know to stay away from that. It's like that guy's going out to the Columbia. I thought about going out to the Columbia. It's just one of the things you deal with in the morning is, where do you go when the Columbia is open? It's nice to go out there, but knowing that people are catching fish at the head of the channel makes me want to stay here. Those look like sturgeon. Long fish. The water's going down since I've been out here, so I'm gonna turn on my contour record, start recording. There we go. Really nice morning. Yesterday there was frost on everything. Trolled up the inside bend here, and now I'm getting past the power lines and marking quite a few fish, but a lot of them look like sturgeon because they're really long on the chart plotter. But probably just go a little ways, and then I'm going to turn around and try to concentrate on about 20 feet of water depth. The tide is coming in, so that might make the salmon come up off the bottom a little bit, but being this early in the year, I think it's just best to focus, especially this early in the morning, close to the bottom. I'm gonna go downstream. I'm gonna reel up and make sure my herring's spinning the way I like it. Yeah, even when I'm barely moving, it's spinning nice, so. That's what I like to see. Going downstream, I'm going about 1.8 miles an hour. See if I can slow down just a little bit and still get the spin. There we go. Yeah. Let me go back to 28 feet deep. Hello. Guy just caught one inside those piles there. It's pretty risky trolling in there. You got to know where you're going because it's pretty snaggy. Might have to go in there and make my own chart and get to know that area. You don't want to just troll around in there without knowing what you're doing. Got about 6 boats trolling the head of the channel today. Son of a bitch. Damn it. That's not good. Well, I just snagged the bottom right by the dolphins. I was trying to go right along the inside and hooked on a log or something down there, so I ended up having to break off my herring. Luckily I had an extra set of hooks tied up, so I'm gonna stay away from that area. The water's a lot better. The turbidity is way better today. Nice North River. That guy's trolling around the inside of those dolphins there. Definitely gonna have to go in there and figure that out. That's the meat boat. Just been trolling really slow on this inside bend. It's pretty chilly out here. I got my coat on. My hands are getting cold, so my electric cove has heaters in the pockets, which is really nice. Haven't seen anybody else catch any fish yet, just that one guy on the inside there. But we should be just a little bit before the high tide. It's 9:10, the high tide's at 9:30, I think, so hopefully it picks up during the high tide. Thunderjet. Sea runner. North River. Quite a few boats out here today. I wish the sun would peek out. Feels like it's getting colder than it was this morning. Well, I trolled up and downstream quite a bit out on the head of the channel, and I think I'm going to go down and troll back and forth in front of Fred's. Marking a few fish out there. Didn't really see anybody catch anything besides that guy right on the inside of the shore. Sun feels good, and I got my heater going, but I'm gonna check my herring here. I've been trolling it for quite a while. See how beat up it is. Well, it looks like it's still spinning pretty good. I'll do one more pass and then I'll swap it out. Be about 24 feet out. I was just looking at their turbidity. You could see where it went way up when we had all those rains, and now it's gone down. Looks like it's about 8, which is really good. The water's still a little murky, but as it gets better, the fishing will start getting better. So that's encouraging. It's supposed to rain again though, so it'll probably go back up again. If you want to look this up, it's under water.usgov, usgs.gov. It's a pretty handy thing to look at. The dam count under fpc.org. It's like Willamette Falls, they haven't been counting. Bonneville has had pretty low numbers, but there's been 76 Chinook adult going over Bonneville so far this year, so that's great. Still trolling here in front of Fred's. Marking a few fish on the fish finder. Starting to warm up finally. Well, I couldn't talk any fish into biting in front of Fred, so I'm gonna head out to the head of the channel again. I've been trolling this herring for a while, so I'm gonna switch it out before I get out there. It's a good time to change herring when you're trolling upstream, because it's a lot easier to control the boat. When you're going downstream, you get a little bit of wind and it'll blow the boat right out of the way. So I'm sure the herring is beat up by now. The tide's starting to go out now, so I'm still going to go up that inside bend, but I'm going to really focus on being right on the bottom. And I'm still going to go as slow as I can. With the tide going out, you can go really slow because you have the current going by to help you spin your herring and your triangle flasher. Nothing yet, just the bottom. You guys getting any bites? Sea lions are right here. whenever you see a sea lion by you, it's a good idea just to head out somewhere else because the fish scatter. Can't blame them. You guys getting any bites?
Yeah.
Same here. Yeah, yep. Good luck. Just trolling along this inside bend here and trying to stay about 20 feet deep. And I've been picking up my pole and just letting it down to make sure that I am just bumping the bottom. Whenever you're bottom bouncing, you want to let your gear out really slow and just feel it tap. And then maybe go up a crank or so. If you let it out super fast, your weight will hit the bottom and start dragging, and your flasher, whether it's a 360 or a triangle, will just get wrapped around in the weight, and you'll reel it up and it'll all be a big ball. So whenever you're letting your gear out, let it out nice and slow, and stop and lower your pole and raise it up, and then let it out a little more and lower your pole, and pretty soon you'll feel it just tap the bottom. And that's right about where you want to be. Just trolled through the head of the channel with the tide going out and didn't really mark any fish through there. All my friends are heading upstream. They've probably seen the same thing. I think I'm just going to troll along these docks here for just a little bit, and then I'm probably going to head back down and troll out in front of Fred's. You guys getting any bites?
Not yet.
Same here.
Yeah. Hey, we're out here.
Yeah. Good luck.
How you doing?
only know of one guy that caught one this morning. He was way inside the dolphins along the shore. That's interesting. Yeah, I'm gonna reel up and go back in the channel. The wind's starting to pick up, so it'll be nicer in here anyways. Marking quite a few fish out here in front of Fred's. Just gotta get them to bite my bait. It's time to try another flasher. I can see my flasher when it's about 3 feet down in the water, which is way better than it used to be, but it's still pretty murky. So I'm gonna try this LED flasher, the Pro Troll triangle. It's got the E chip that's supposed to make a little electrical signal that simulates bait fish. And then it's got this LED that flashes red, green, and white. So that might help stimulate a bite. My herring's still pretty good. It's getting a little beat up. This is some Lemon Joy mixed with water and a Dawn power sprayer that works pretty good. Put a little bit on my bait. Been trolling about 24 feet deep. Been marking quite a few fish about 18 feet. So trying to get right in front of their face. Getting any bites? Same here.
See anything?
I saw one fish caught this morning, but he was on the inside of all the piles, like right along the shore. Yeah, I tried going in there and snagged the bottom instantly. I've been trolling back and forth through here, just trying different depths. I went into like 15 feet deep and wasn't marking as many fish, so it seems like the fish are right about in the 20 to 25 foot depth of water. And I'm just going back and forth super slow because I know these fish are lethargic. About ready to wrap it up. I'm just gonna troll slow down to the bridge and maybe go around the corner a little ways and then probably call it a day. You guys having any luck? I saw one fish caught early this morning. Inside all the piles on the inside bend. The guy was like right along the shore in there. Yeah, I got in there too close and hooked a log and had to break off my herring, so yeah, you gotta really know where you're going, I guess. Yeah, you too. Just trolling down here past Channel Island Marina. And I'm gonna go past Bridgeview Marina here and just work my way around the corner. And then probably call it a day. Well, I'm back at my house. Didn't catch anything today. But like the guy in the Thunderjet said, the fish win today, we'll get them next time. If you guys enjoy my videos, I'd really appreciate it if you'd like and subscribe. Thanks for watching. I'm just going to go over some of the ways that I cure my herring. Sometimes, if I'm in a big hurry, I will just have this Pro-Cure Brine and Bite complete, and it's got everything in it. It's got all the additives. It's already got the water that's the right water. It's got the UV flash. This is a quick way to do it. You can cut the bag open on your herring, defrost it just enough to where you can pull the herring apart without tearing the scales off. If you try to break these apart when they're frozen, you'll notice a lot of the scales are missing. One of the reasons we brine our herring is to keep the scales intact. If you just take a herring, defrost it, and cut plug it and put it on your hook, you're probably going to lose some scales, and you're also going to have meat that's not real firm that's going to get smashed pretty quick. It'll get flattened and all blown out, and then it won't rotate properly. I like to brine my herring for at least a couple days if the current's really high. When you're out there in the fast current, you might be going upstream and it'll really beat up your bait fast. If you're somewhere where you know you're only going to troll downstream with the current and go nice and slow, it's not so hard on your herring. But a lot of the fishing we do, we're going upstream and downstream. So especially in the spring, I like a really well cured herring. So I'm just going to go over some of the things that I do and different methods that you can do it. The first thing is water. A lot of people don't think about it, but it's very important to use the right water if you're going to cure your own herring. I like to use the river water. They say the best water to use is the water body you'll be fishing in. So if you're fishing in a certain river and you can do it, grab some water out of the river. If you're going to fish in the ocean, grab some salt water. If you can't get water out of the river, the next best thing is distilled water. Just go down to the store, buy some distilled water. There's no chlorine in it. There's no fluoride. That's the reason you don't want to use your tap water unless it's well water. For the herring, I like to use green label herring. I will cut the package open the night before and let it defrost in the freezer. If I can, I'll let it defrost just enough to where I can pull the herring apart without tearing the scales off. If this herring is a little frozen still and you go to break these apart, you'll notice that you'll tear the scales off. So if you can, defrost it just right until it just comes apart, but it's still a little bit frozen. I've got my container here. I like to use a long enough container that when you put the herring in there, it doesn't bend them or make a kink in them. If you use a container that's not the right size, it will kink your herring and then you'll have a hard time getting them to spin just right. So for the cure I'm going to do right now, I'm going to do 2 cups of river water. It doesn't have to be exact. If you use a little less water, it'll make a little more of a hot cure, stiffen them up a little bit better. And then if you use more water, it'll make it not so hot. So that's just kind of personal preference. But I'm going to do 2 cups of river water. Then I'm going to take my brine and bright, shake it up pretty good, make sure it's all mixed. And I'm going to do 6 tablespoons for 2 cups of water. After I put the ProCure Brine and Bright in here, I like to shake it up, get it to mix up really well. This is why I like to do this outside, because if your lid comes off, this stuff will be everywhere. That's mixed up pretty good. Take the lid off. Now I'm going to add my rock salt. When you're using rock salt, you want to make sure it's non-iodized. If you can't get ProCure rock salt, make sure you get kosher salt that has no iodine added. I like to do about 1/2 cup of salt. A good way to know if you're adding enough salt is if after you're done curing you can still see some salt in there. That means that you have a saturated solution, and that's as much salt as you're going to get in that solution. Right now the water's real turbid, so I'm going to add some of this Bad As bait dye. This is the chartreuse lime, and this stuff is really strong. This is something you definitely want to do outside. You don't want to do it in your kitchen sink and spill some of this stuff, because it'll dye everything green and it's permanent. For 1 pack of herring, I like to do about that much. It does not take very much with this dye. They do have the liquids, and the liquids have the UV brightener in them, and I'm going to add some of the UV, the ProCure Bait Bright, to my brine. So get that mixed up really well. You can take a little corner of a paper towel and stick it in here and pull it out and see what your bait's going to look like after it's brined. That looks pretty good to me, so I'm going to go with that. Going to add just a little bit of the Bait Bright. It'll make it a little blue, but it's not really going to dye the bait blue. It just makes it brighter. I also like to add a little bit of this Monster Bite. This is a bite enhancing powder. A lot of this stuff is very concentrated, so it does not take very much. When you put your herring in the brine, I like to line them up and make sure that they're all laying nice and flat to where They're not going to get a bunch of kinks in them. Just like that. I like to do this a couple days before if I can. It just firms up the bait really good and seems to work best for me. These are some herring that I've already cured up. They've been cured up for probably 4 days now. Looking at them, you can see that they've shrunk up a little bit, but they're nice and firm. I'm going to take these out and put them in a bag. Try not to get this cure all over. And wrap them up pretty tight. And put them in the freezer. And since they're cured really well, they're going to be pretty hot and they're going to be tough. So I will write on this bag that these herring are cured and for how many days they've been in the brine. The next day, I'll take and put these cured herring in a bag, and then I'll add the scent to it. Sometimes I'll add this shrimp prawn in there. I think that's a good thing to add early in the spring. When the water starts to warm up, when I open my tuna, I like to put the oil in here and use that as a bite enhancer. They say that this container is good enough for 12 dozen herring. So a lot of guys, after they brine this herring, they will take these out and put more herring in there. I don't usually do that. When I'm fishing with these herring, it's the spring and I want them to be super strong. If I was fishing in Astoria, I wouldn't have any problem doing that. One of the things that's fun about curing your own herring is you can try all kinds of different recipes, you can try all kinds of colors, and you can really get creative with your herring cure and find something that you feel comfortable with and catches fish for you.